started today. We kind of felt a little rush today, Tom. A little rush. I don't know if that portends of greatness. Sometimes it does. Really, just the opening chords to Baba O'Reilly does that. But other times, it leads to a disheveled. Who am I kidding? Every show is disjointed. All of ours.
Wait a minute. We have the most regimented production meeting in the business. Every word is scripted of this show.
Oh, no, that would be terrible. Yeah. That's how bad shows get done.
One of the computers here was rebooting.
Yeah.
As I was in the process of setting things up. We were almost not on video today. Or it would have just been you with the sounds of your computer speaker or something along those lines. It would have been terrible.
Rebooting can be a problem. John Butler did decide to stay in the draft. Remember I said last night or yesterday on the program, just to kind of clean up some loose ends of things that are applicable to Florida State that matter, that involve personnel. Listen, guys, it's June. And June, being a great month that it is also awfully slow when it comes to information that you can run with that matter greatly as it applies to Florida State on a day-to-day basis. So when you have something that does, you do have to mention it. And John Butler, the 7'1" beanpole, as he were, but with a pretty shot, has decided to keep it in the NBA draft. His name is there. That's a pretty big hole that he leaves now for Florida State. I'll give you the roster in a second just to refresh your memory. But, I mean, Butler started 24 of 31 games, Tom, and we saw real moments with him that led you to be excited about what he was going to be. Now, again, when you just look at averages, points per game, free throws, and all that, you're going to say, oh, well, what's the big deal, Jeff? You average 5 points a game, 6 points a game. Yeah, but he did it his first year with a gorgeous shooting touch, and he also was the best shooter from beyond the arc statistically and otherwise that the team had. So he was only going to get better, one would assume, that this staff, which has done a good job of developing players, was going to get him to improve. We know he'd put on weight at some point. But moreover, just as a pure shooter, he wasn't a 7-foot guy that was down the post a lot. Naheem McLeod and others are going to have to do that. He's a guy that's out on the perimeter that has, in the modern parlance of the game, you watch guys with handles that are that big. It does happen, and they, in rhythm, get their shot. They can create their shot. It's hard to block their shot at that height, obviously. And if they shoot in rhythm with that high arching shot that he had, it's just gorgeous. So I was looking forward to watching him develop. Now you'll have to find him overseas because he sure as hell ain't going to get drafted. Which is really bizarre because if you go through every ranking service, ESPN has him as the 72nd best prospect in the draft. That would have him undrafted. If you were to look then at the other services, say NBADraftRoom.com, it's one that often people look at. It's not looking good. He does appear in a couple of them. The Spurs, who like Florida State players, in one of those mocks, have him going in the second round, Tom. And then I saw another one. I think it was a Bleacher Report NBA preview, draft preview that had him going late in the second round as well. Those are the only two of like the 7 that I looked at. All the rest don't have him going at all. So listen, there are normally 60 picks in the NBA draft thereabouts. So he's, outside the round. So one at 48, another one at 57.
Yeah, this tells me that his people want him
to go play
himself,
pro basketball.
Yeah, and make the money that he can right now. It's not worth it to come back and try and develop and increase your draft stock. Okay, well, if that's the path you choose, then so be it. But if that's the path you choose, then you lead me to believe that maybe, just maybe, you weren't helping the issue here. Even though you could help spread the floor on offense in the half court, maybe you're not helping the issue here because what this season has to be about is
getting back to toughness.
Yeah.
And togetherness.
Yes.
Yeah, the camaraderie.
There was none of that last year.
No, I know. And we've complained about it. Now, listen, we don't know what – I don't think we know. At least last I checked right before we came on the air. Malik Osborne did pull his name. Okay, so he pulled his name from the NBA draft. I don't know if he did it before the midnight deadline. The only thing I would say about that, Tom, is he's 24 years old. He turned 24 in April. I wouldn't blame him if he goes and plays professional basketball somewhere.
He's not on my radar. Like, I guess he could come back, but that would be a stunner. Like, I'm not even thinking about him as a potential.
But he is eligible to come back, is what I'm saying. And this is a case, albeit I don't know what kind of money he could get, but his unquestioned leadership and physical tools. Now, think about what he's been in his career. He's been really good. Gets to the free throw line, team best. He's averaging double digits per game. Plays nearly 30 minutes per game in his career. He's a good shooter. He defends. He's a lot of things. But you know what he is? He's a quintessential college basketball player. He doesn't strike you as an NBA player, of course. He can play professionally somewhere overseas or something like that. But here's a case where if he returned for his final season of eligibility, Tom, we talk about NIL. There's a guy that is a campus leader. He's a locker room leader. He's a guy that I can tell you squashed when the season was in the midst of going south. Some, I guess you, for lack of a better term, you'd say infighting. That's a guy that stood between some of the younger players who were bickering and who were frustrated about what was transpiring and came in and put the kibosh on that with the quickness. That's the kind of leadership he brings along with the physical tools. I don't know what kind of money he could get. Again, if we're talking about real NIL, as in a business invests in you because they see value in what you represent for their company. Very few players in any sport, in collegiate sports anyhow, are worth it. But that's not how NIL is being used. So I don't know. It would be cool to see if he could come back. Now, again, I'm going to double check this because an hour ago when I was going through some show prep notes, I could not find whether or not he pulled his name from the NBA draft pool prior to the midnight deadline.
Now, he retained an agency before.
You're allowed to do that.
I know you are. But that just, to me, that screams like somebody is feeling what you're feeling. I'm in my mid-20s. It's time to go make money somewhere.
I wish I felt like I was still in my mid-20s.
Right.
I remember feeling that.
You do?
Oh, absolutely.
It's a half lifetime ago.
It is, and it goes really quick. From 25 to 50, it's...
That's accurate.
Yeah.
I was 27 yesterday.
Yeah.
And I'm going on 36 now.
Yeah, it's like that, man. Yeah. It's like that. Anyhow, yeah, so the point is it leaves a pretty deep chasm for Florida State to try to cross here. I'm concerned. Your returning players are Caleb Mills, Matthew Cleveland, Cameron Fletcher, that's your guy, Naheem McLeod, and Jalen Worley. I'm going to need Worley to wake the hell up, by the way.
I'm going to need Mills to not be soft also.
Well, good luck. We had 23 starts from the young man to pretty overwhelming evidence that he was soft.
A little more Trent Forrest in your game. Like, whatever it is. Maybe Trent could sit him down and say, this is how you do it.
You know, you never know when tough love Cameron is needed. Some guys, they rebuke, they push back, they scoff at the idea of being called out publicly on these airwaves over the 20-plus years that I've been doing this program. They don't like it. They recoil at criticism. Others, they puff out their chest and they say, F you, Cameron. I'll show you. Which is the intent of Tough Love Cameron, is to bring about that very rebellious, angry, I'll prove you wrong mentality.
Right. It's the button your high school coach pushed on you.
Oh, yes. Took me several years removed from high school to look back and realize that good on you, coach. Hated his ass. And then all those years later realized, oh, I don't hate him. It worked. But I did in the moment. But you got to have a good cop, bad cop, and they do at this program. But anyhow, the point is, I continue to get worried. It's June. You're saying, why are you leading with this? Well, it's pertinent. I mean, it's pertinent. I mean, you had two guys, both have their name out there. One stayed in, hopes to be drafted. I wish him well. I just hate we're not going to get to watch him play. I really had high hopes for what I thought he was going to become. It's just a pure shot. It's a shame. And now probably have to seek that out in G League if he's lucky. If not, we'll seek it out in Europe.
And then if Malik doesn't come back, which again, I don't expect him to, but if he doesn't, that gives you a spot. Maybe you can make some things happen in the NIL world, get somebody in here who can further the mission of repairing what was lost last year. That group, as you could tell, the farther away we get from the season, the more I feel, Jesus, guys, that's not who we are. That's not what we're about here. Mm-hmm. The last team that was that mentally soft was the one that gave up against Georgia Tech here in Tallahassee. on a senior night when they still had a chance to go to the NCAA tournament, and they did not do so. That's like 7 years ago. So it's been a long time since you've watched a group basically quit on the court multiple times.
James writes, none of this matters. Ham's never going back to the Elite Eight, right, Jeff? That's true, James. But it does matter. I don't want us, just because we can't get back to the Elite Eight. I think I said Final Four. But I would just say that there's a difference between not being able to ascend to the greatness that they were on the cusp of when COVID rendered the postseason null and sucking. Like, it's not one or the other. You can be a reputable program that goes to the postseason year in and year out, finishes in the top 6 of the ACC, has quality campaigns for which to invest in and have fun watching, and hope to prove me wrong. Frankly, I'll go every year to hope that I'm wrong and have to come out here and issue a mea culpa and say how sorry I am that I ever doubted Leonard Hamilton. That'd be great.
It's been done before by me. I was the guy, the last one to leave the bandwagon, and just as I set my feet, both feet down, off of the bandwagon,
it took off kicking ass.
Yeah, that's right. I'm like, wait, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I know. It's what are you gonna do? It's crazy. But I got sleepy eyes. Look at that. If we're looking at the video, look at the puffiness. I gotta get some rest, guys.
What time did you wake up?
5:30.
Oh, you got a good night's sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you didn't go to bed until late.
I was in bed. There was no reason for me to watch the middle of the third period on of the Lightning dismantling. So I did crash. I did have to work late last night. We were doing, a national champion was crowned in golf yesterday, and it didn't end until after 9:00 Eastern. And so what you had was Texas winning it all. Coach John Fields, who I've interviewed several times over the years, of course, had quite a team. They've got 3 guys that are in the top 10 of the PGA Tour U. But he won his first, the last national championship Texas won in golf was 2012, and his contract was up. So it was a good year for him to win the national championship.
That's some Gus Malzahn stuff right there.
Yeah. So then he was renewed because he was under a little bit of pressure. And so it's been a minute, been 10 years. And
was it a 10-year contract?
I don't know.
Okay.
But once he won that one, I don't think they were as apt to get rid of him. But he won. And so we wanted to present it live, and we did go live. But we didn't start on Sirius XM last night on PGA Tour channel. We didn't start till 10 p.m. And I was frustrated, Tom, as it was 2-2 when I arrived for the prep to do the show. It was 2-2. I watched us score 45 seconds after giving up the 2-1 goal, and I thought, okay, here we go. All right, here we go. And then I was already a little troubled at the pacing of the game, and this was something that I talked with you about yesterday. You don't want to play that way, guys, and so hopefully lesson learned, and we'll slow things down. But they were playing pretty breakneck for the first period and a half.
Yeah, for the first 30 minutes, they were a group who their feet were a little heavier. That's true. But if you look at the chances, point blanks, we outchanced them, 10-6, something like that. I'll take that most circumstances. The problem was from about the 30-minute to the 35-minute mark, you get owned, and that's your game.
You get owned.
Because you did not cash in on those chances earlier. I ain't worried. I mean, listen, this is the awesome place to be in as a Lightning fan. If it ends,
it's house money.
Standing ovation.
No,
if it continues, standing ovation. It doesn't matter. You're standing up and clapping either way.
Yeah,
so we'll see.
You do want to win.
Of course.
I learned my lesson, obviously. This team has earned the benefit of the doubt not to panic.
Oh, they got destroyed by Toronto.
Yeah, we've seen several games where you're like, ooh, I don't know what that is. But then, obviously, it all worked out. I can't do it, Ryan. That is a problem. He mentions watching the Women's College World Series without FSU. It's like watching Caddyshack 2. I think that's a great point. That's a horrible movie. And I can't watch the Women's College World Series without FSU in it. I haven't graduated to that place yet. I have mentioned on the show that legitimately softball, college softball, has arrived at a place where if FSU's not on in a regular season game and I'm flipping around and it's on, that I'll pause. I'll watch an inning or two if they're two good teams.
Right. First and second, nobody out. Ooh.
I'll watch. Like it happened when we were playing down in St. Pete in that tournament. I was flipping around and we weren't playing on a particular day that I flipped over. And a couple of good teams were playing. I don't know, was it Oklahoma State down there? Or was Texas A&M? I can't remember. Somebody good was down there.
Whoever's good.
And I was like, oh, well, I'll watch this. I'll watch a little bit of this. And I did. And then I've seen a little bit of other, but I can't prolonged watch. It's not there. Like you and I can watch any football game.
Sure.
Any football game. I can pretty much watch any professional baseball game. Any. Almost. If there's nothing going on, if there's not a lot going on, and you tell me, I'll give you an example.
Cardinals, Browns, I don't know. I might not watch that.
Oh, pro football you're talking about. You might. It depends on their playoff implications. You have some money on the game. I haven't stooped to betting on women's softball yet, so I can't really spruce that up the way that I do across the board in the NFL.
They call that the final hurdle. There you go.
I thought when I began to bet on preseason NFL football that I had crossed a line and there was no way to go back. But I was wrong. I just realized
you bet on, what was it, the Dutch Open? How did that go?
Oh, no, that was being facetious.
Oh, I thought you legitimately bet on the Dutch Open.
I did not bet on that. Jags-Texans pass. You know what, though? You happen to select a game that I would almost watch at a just laughter. Like last year, I think the Jags-Texans played the first game of the year, and I remember when we were doing our previews across the board, especially teams in the Southeast that our audience might have an interest in. I said, well, the Jags better win that one because I don't know that they're going to win another game. And the same would hold true for the Texans. Texans better win that one. It's like
the only other game is when they play again in the other person's stadium.
Right. Yeah. Well, if you lost the first time in that Jags-Texans meeting, a lot on the line in that second one. I mean, this is it. This is the only one you're going to get. So, yeah, I don't know. Bottom line is there are some sporting events that I can watch anywhere. I watched the other day, flipped around to watch the Angels and the Yankees. Struck me as a good matchup. Thought I'd watch it. Watched a good 5 to 7 minutes of that. Enjoyed. So there's that. But I haven't gotten there yet with softball.
So I'm looking on a sports book, a prominent one, and I cannot find a softball. Even though it's the World Series, I can't find a line. There's got to be one, though, right?
Yeah. I know there has to be. You can bet on everything these days. We live that part of the world has changed for the better. Many aspects of life here has not changed for the better.
No.
But that is one that has. We finally caught up to modern times.
Went through the list. You can find snooker, but you can't find softball.
Oh, snooker's heavily bet on in Europe. Yes, absolutely it is. So is darts.
Yeah, here it is, Premier League.
Yeah, that's when you know you've really graduated to a good place.
So in case you want to know, let's see, Johnny Clayton is favored by 2.5.
As he should be.
Over Joe Cullen. Yeah.
Cullen's a quality player, but.
And then also, Michael Van Gerwen is a 2.5 something favorite over James.
I kid, and I'll just say this, and then we'll get a little focused here, maybe. I kid all the time about what you can and can't watch. We're all lovers of sport competition and all that comes with it, and it's why we're in the industry we're in. And it's why we chose the profession that it's cover sports, all that stuff. But I will tell you. We have a softball bet. Texas versus UCLA. UCLA minus 190.
Director found it on WinBet. I was looking at DK Sportsbook.
Good
DK
job,
Sportsbook
WinBet.
will not take your softball wagers, but WinBet certainly will.
Damn right, WinBet. Check on FanDuel. Check on all the others. Yeah, that's good stuff. Circa probably has it. What I would tell you is that we've reached a pretty low place. I went to get some pickup food about 2 weekends ago. I think it was 2 weekends ago. Because last weekend, whatever the weekend
crab
was,
legs.
Whatever the weekend. No.
Did you get the butter?
Always. Whatever the weekend was that I wasn't in Tampa watching the Lightning defeat Florida in Game 3. So I went in to get this food, and it was an establishment that had beer, and I ordered one. And I thought, well, while I wait,
a 4-ouncer, little guy,
just a little guy,
little taster.
And I thought, well, I'll watch sports while I'm here. It's a great place to be, to watch sports while I'm having a beer and waiting on my food. And I angered a couple that was down the end of the bar, and they were just staring into their salad, and they were eating, and they'd look up every now and again. It didn't look like they had much interest.
It sounds like they're not having a good time anyway. You're sitting at a bar, crunching on a salad.
They were, but they looked like they weren't really interested in what was on. Now I know the people at this establishment, and I said to them, "Hey, sweet cheeks, can you flip that over there quick? to the golf. I didn't call her Sweet Cheeks, but I thought it. Anyhow, she switched it to the golf as I requested, and they went, we were watching that. You know what was on? Cornhole. Get the hell up out of here. I'd have kicked them out of the bar. They were watching cornhole.
So a couple sitting together at the end of the bar.
Eating salads. Upset by my request to put on a PGA Tour sanctioned event. And they said, we were watching that.
Molly, you know what I think we should do today?
We're watching cornhole?
Let's go get a Cobb salad. You get a Caesar. That way we can have some of each other's salads.
We'll do it both and watch that cornhole.
That's right.
Live from Tennessee.
Yep. Let's do it.
Unbelievable.
Sounds like a day.
We sat there stunned and looked at each other. Me and Sweet Cheeks. Couldn't believe it. I was like, really? That's what we're doing out
There was
here?
no other TV?
Well, there was. And I told them respectfully, we're going to put it on over there. I impromptu just took command of that.
The cornhole?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
I said, we're going to put it on over there. This is going to golf. And that was kind of the end of that. But I mean, and I wasn't being asked. I put it on the TV closer to them.
Oh, okay.
It was the better TV.
So over there is next to them, not
across the bar.
That's what it sounded like.
Well,
I got to tell you.
I was tempted. But, I mean, what are we doing here? Taking up our TVs with cornhole. Who does that? Communist. It's Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV. Hey, no fans, our partner ISF Inc. is a national management and IT consulting firm located right here in Tallahassee, Florida, solving the future for state governments through strategy, process, and technology. As a trusted advisor for state governments, ISF knows the importance of defining a clear and detailed strategy. Our friends at ISF can help your organization create a strategy that sets you on a path to success. ISF, your vision plus our expertise brings your brilliant ideas to life. Visit ISF.com to learn more. ISF, solving the future.
Hi, my name is Shannon Pash, and I'm the principal at Red Hills Academy. We will provide a challenging, rigorous curriculum. We will also work with our students to teach them how to set goals and then how to work to reach those goals. Red Hills Academy will offer the Spanish language every day. Relationships are really important to us, not just with our students, but with our families and the community. This benefits parents and students alike because parents get that involvement within the school. Easily apply online today at redhillsacademy.com.
Hey, this is Dustin Rivest. During the pandemic, I noticed restaurants struggling with online ordering and watched as all the major third parties took advantage of our local restaurants and thought there must be a better way, which is why I created foodiestakeout.com. The unique thing about Foodies Takeout is that restaurants keep 100% of their order revenue versus splitting upwards of 30% with the third parties like Uber Eats and Bite Squad. At Foodies Takeout, you can find some of your favorite restaurants, such as Jerry's Midtown Cafe, Misty's Kitchen in Frenchtown, Casa Grande, and even El Jalisco. Or if you're on the north side of town, check out Horizons Bar and Grill. Why not give us a try? Head to foodiestakeout.com or text foodies to 230-9456, and I'll even give you 10% off your first meal. Supporting local restaurants has never been easier. Visit foodiestakeout.com.
Let's be honest, we all have way too much stuff. Maybe your storage closet is full, your garage is full, or the guest bedroom is a mess. Call Southeast Portable Buildings, 580-6400, or visit them online at southeastportablebuildings.com.
When your AC unit decides to give up the ghost, it doesn't always pick the best time. But no matter what time, day or night, or day of the week, you can call E&B Heating and Air Conditioning. We'll be out to bring your AC unit back to life. We've been repairing and replacing heating and air conditioning systems in the North Florida and South Georgia area since 1974. So when your air conditioner stops working, call E&B Heating and Air Conditioning to the rescue.
Sellers Tile does it better for business owners, contractors, designers, and homeowners. Better design ideas, better quality tile, carpet, and hardwood flooring, better mosaics, ceramic, and vinyl solutions. And Sellers makes it easier with their amazing showroom and first-class professionals. Maybe it's time to get Sellers working for you on Capitol Circle Northeast, just north of Mahan Drive, or online at sellerstile.com for better style, quality, and design. Go with Sellers in Tallahassee. Call 656-8453.
Well. Hey, Jeff, look at this place.
Yeah. Well, doing well. It's been a while since I've seen you, brother, but, it hasn't been a while since I've been over to Gordo's. I go there on the regular because of you, Eddie.
Well, we keep you regular.
Well, that's true, but I think of Gordo's as a place to sit down, have a cold beer, talk to your friends, enjoy the sports, eat the delicious food. But I think of you as Uncle Eddie, a man who takes care of his people and takes care of the town.
I appreciate that, Jeff. Hey, and we'll keep you regular.
Gordo's, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996. We all want more energy, more strength, more results. Well, welcome to Orange Theory Fitness as you take a step towards feeling more alive today. Backed by science, Orange Theory's heart rate monitored workout is scientifically designed to keep heart rates in a target zone, spiking metabolism and increasing energy. Orange Theory Fitness is a one-of-a-kind group personal training workout resulting in more energy, visible toning, and extra calorie burn for up to 36 hours. Experience a more vibrant life today with Orange Theory Fitness. To find out more, go to orangetheoryfitness.com.
The Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness. 2 Tallahassee locations, Midtown on Thomasville Road and Northside in the Village Common Shopping Center. Online at orangetheoryfitness.com.
At noon, and because of it, we're going to kind of, I don't want to say counter programming. That's the radio term. There will be people who are not interested in Florida State playing at noon, and it makes it awkward for us because it becomes a glorified watch along, and that doesn't work on the air, and is, I guess, in theory, kind of illegal because I often break into play-by-play while we're watching on the air, which
good luck potting that on Monday when you're like on the commute. You're like, oh, what did they talk about on Friday? Great. It's the third inning of a game that I know what happened.
Right. Yeah, you can't do that. So that's our situation. We decided that instead we'll do something different. It won't center around Florida State baseball at all. And it's my son's birthday today. It's Clark's birthday today. He's 12. Happy birthday, Clark. And so I think we're going to use tomorrow as a celebratory day, me and the family and all that. So Tom and I are going to get together bright and early in the morning, put some content together for you that'll be fresh and different from baseball, and we'll have that for tomorrow afternoon show.
Happy birthday, Clark. Yeah. Only 2 years until you can get your ear pierced. All right.
9th grade, I guess. I kind of wavered on that a little and mentioned that I got mine pierced when I was able to drive to go get it pierced. When I was when I was capable of taking myself to go to the mall to get it done. So that's what he's got to do.
He's got to take himself to specifically the mall, nowhere else?
Oh, he can go anywhere he wants to go, but he has to be able to drive himself. So if he's able to drive himself.
All right. Only 4 more birthdays, Clark, until you can get your ear pierced.
Yeah,
or 3 if you take your dad with you with your permit.
The requests are much easier for his birthday this go around. He wants ice cream. Last bastion of childhood. The last little bit.
Taking him to the shop?
Soon the requests become exponentially more expensive, obviously. It changes everything. But also, like, the desire is starkly different than wanting ice cream.
It sounds like you got a little bit of a dip, though, because when he was in like that 8 to 10 range, it was either a video game system or you would go all out at the sporting goods store or the toy store, and there would just be extravagant amounts of toys. So this one,
loved it.
I'm sure
I
you
missed that terribly. I used to go because toys aren't expensive. They're not that expensive. I used to just throw them in the cart.
But you found expensive ones.
I got the Millennium Falcon that time. That was like $300.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So now it's.
I gave it to you, Director Matthew. You still have it? Still works?
Oh, he's pumped up.
Yeah, good. It is awesome.
Now it's like $7 for the ice cream. Happy birthday, son. Here's a card.
All I got to do is bring his little friends along and pay for them too, but that's no big deal.
$37.
Yeah,
there you go.
$37. All right, everybody have a good time. Good. Go to your houses. that's how that's gonna work. Yeah, man.
No bouncy house this year? No, not the front yard.
They've gone beyond the bouncy house now. I mean, Bryce is 6 feet tall. Clark's like 5'8" now, so it's like, yeah, they were done with the bouncy.
Slip and slide? No.
I wish. It's hot enough to do the slip and slide. Slip and slide was always great, and it translates even as you're older. Nobody gets bored with the slip and slide. You would like to do the slip and slide.
I hope our mutual friend Rob has the slip and slide party again this year. That's always a great one.
It's the best. It's usually 4th of July weekend, right? Or right around that, right?
Yeah, that or August. It bounced back and forth. Yeah.
So Florida State baseball tomorrow, not today. Somebody asked in the chat. That's not today, or else we would be talking about that. Of course, they're taking on UCLA. That game is at noon. It will be played on ESPN2, or at least be seen on ESPN2. That's a shakeup Ordinarily, you can't find college baseball to watch anywhere, at least not ACC. But now you'll get to see it on ESPN2. And after that game, by the way, Southeast Louisiana and the Tigers will play, if you care to watch that.
Yeah. So if we win, we play Saturday night. If we lose, you're facing the barbecue and you're starting early on a Saturday afternoon.
What do you think of this quote? Mike Martin Jr. writes, "It's awesome. It's awesome for our guys. It's awesome for our coaching staff. It's good for the program. You have to treat everything the same. What you don't want to do is act like somebody else. You want to stay consistent, our routines, everything that we've done this year to get here." I mean, I know why a coach would say that. I don't know. I don't think you want to do everything you did to get there, Coach.
That's fair, but maybe that's a response to maybe things under the previous regime did not stay the same in the postseason as they did in the regular season. That's what I gather that is. But if we are going to be
a good observation on your part, that's fair.
Thank you. If we're going to be consistent with what we've been in the postseason, then we're going to win the first game 11-0. We're going to lose the second game 12-0 because that's what we've been this year. Is
wildly inconsistent. Yeah, that's the consistency with which we play, right? You don't know heads or tails. Now, I do agree with this quote. He said that, look, the teams that win this time of year are the ones that keep their emotions in check and can think. You have to be able to think. You can't get so amped up that you play different than you did during the regular season. I thought there were stretches this year in the regular season where they lost the ability to concentrate and the ability to think. I think they had so many empty at-bats. It's really the greatest complaint. I wanted to boil it down because this was the thing that it's easy to just say that this aspect of the program has to get better or that aspect of the program has to get better. And they can even be true, those things. Like, you got to run the bases better. Okay, fine. That's true. We've had a nearly 6-year run of not picking up the baseball. Now, I think the picking up of the baseball improves with better players. As your roster gets better, as you improve, then I believe you'll start to see. It's almost like the complaint for years about Leonard Hamilton's teams until they got better players. Well, man, these end-of-game scenarios, these inbound passes, I mean, what's going on with these inbound passes when we need it most? And then all of a sudden, not only did we get the ball in, we'd run up amazing plays. You'd get dunks off of inbound passes. You'd get last-second wins executed with perfect technique and execution time and again. Well, guess what? They had better players. Better players tend to let you do that. So I started thinking about the registered complaints. And some of them are directly solved by getting better players. But an alarming trend has been the empty at-bats. And by empty at-bats, situationally empty at-bats. Not moving people over, working hard to get a fastball count, to get to 2-0, 3-1, and then no contact on a 2-1, 90-mile-per-hour fastball down the heart. That kind of, puzzling execution or lack thereof when you have leverage, that's got to get better, and I'd like to know why that is. Now, is that solved by the players? Perhaps.
But it's like going 5 wide on 3rd and goal from the 1, and then on 4th and goal, you throw the fade. That's what that feels like, those at-bats. You're going, really? There's a lot of other ways this could have gone. You're not even going to give yourself a chance. But there is room for hope because there is a potential, and I see that somebody commented on it in the chat. There is the highest of high-caliber players that has entered the transfer portal as a freshman. Tommy White from NC State wants to return to the state of Florida.
I saw that.
And he has 27 home runs to his name this year. Obviously, NC State did not make the postseason.
Well, bent over by a committee who had no idea what they were doing.
That is correct. I mean, supremely bent over. But you know what? He can do the same to pitching in the ACC. We know this at a ridiculous record-setting rate.
I saw it, was going to mention it, hence the emphasis on getting better players part of my rant.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad somebody brought it up in the chat because it segues nicely into where I can cross my fingers. I don't know how this is going to go. Our guys are in the middle of the postseason right now. It's tough to know.
He's batting 3rd tomorrow, folks. It's a new rule.
It'd be great. Thanks, Eric. Thanks for your contribution, and thanks for listening and supporting the program with gusto. With gusto, I tell you. He writes, Jeff and Tom, best in the business, FSU going to Omaha. Tall boys on me, Thirsty Thursday. I think he's got some sort of beer-related nickname for most of the days. That's a good man.
Weiss Wednesday of the Germans.
I don't like a Hefeweizen.
I agree.
I don't like.
I agree.
I don't like it. And people look at you funny when you said, "Oh yeah, German beer kind of sucks."
For being a guy, well, except for the Dunkel Browns, those are good.
Okay,
right. But for being a guy whose nickname could be Hefe, you don't like the Hefe.
I don't like the Hefe.
No gusta.
At the time that we had nothing but bland choices, right? Beer in this country for a very long time, very simply put, kind of the big three, if you will. You had your Budweisers, your Coors, your Michelobes, those kinds of things. That's about it, right? That's what you had. So what seemed exotic almost was like the first time you're like, a St. Pauli girl? Like you couldn't believe it, right? You're like, what is this?
You wouldn't believe it. I went to the German festival and they had a
unbelievable.
beer I'd never heard of before.
Yeah, and then like people thought the Hefeweizen, like, oh, have you ever had a Hefeweizen? It's life-changing. I haven't. The best I've ever had is a brown ale one time. But yes, that was a big deal. Now you're like, oh, what are we doing here? This is nothing. Get it together, Jimmy.
I'm still on the brown ale train though. That's outstanding beer.
You know the story of, and I told you this one before. I think it's so awesome. And back in the day, it would have been the greatest job in the world. That we always think about spies trying to learn secrets of our enemies, such as technological advancements in weaponry, right? But the United States had, this is a true story, everybody, a spy that famously went country to country to steal. And this is great. I would have loved this job. To steal potential recipes or food items that could not grow, say, naturally in America. That's how we ended up getting what we did in order to brew beer like the Germans. We stole the hops.
The hops?
We stole the hops.
Oh, wow.
That's a true story. And that person went all around, Middle East. We stole apricots. Oh, thank God. All of this. And we were able to bring them back. But if you got caught back then doing something like that, you could be executed. You could be killed.
Whoever stole poppy seed bagels, thank you so much. Appreciate you.
Think about that. What a job, though. Like, if you got to be undercover doing stuff, we both love all of those movies where that is the central theme, where it's all dialogue for 3 hours, and we're just figuring out which of the Tinker Tailor Spy.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, Soldier Spy.
All those stuff, all those kinds of films. They're fantastic, right? But imagine that, but you're stealing food. Much easier conversation to fake your way through, is it not? Well, I don't know. What is
come
this?
To the attention of the circus that you're stealing food.
No, but like if you were trying to figure it out, like you would say, well, what is this pizza of which you speak? I'd love to try it with the intent of stealing everything. Right. It would be fantastic.
How do you make it? Pour another glass of wine?
Well, say that part again.
No, well, my secret is...
It's the Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio and Warchant TV.
Your local news now.
Berks County Sheriff's Office arrested a man who continues to hoard more than a dozen animals on his property. Richard Jerry McLeod faces more than 30 charges of animal cruelty after police discovered he was hoarding 31 animals at a home near Grooverville and Liberty Church Road. Fur Kids and the Alpharetta Rescue Group picked up 15 puppies, 7 dogs, and 9 kittens from the home. The rescue group said that they found at least 1 dog dead. They also said 2 puppies are in the hospital and that many were starving, dehydrated, and had worms and fleas. Gadsden County motorists will encounter an intermittent road closure on Flat Creek Road. County crews are repairing a sinkhole about 1 mile north of the Flat Creek Road, County Highway 278 interchange near I-10 exit 166 in Chattahoochee. The road there may be closed for about 2 to 3 weeks during an anticipated window of June 1st through June 21st. Motorists are being detoured to Cochran Road and are to continue west to Hardaway Road. This is Rachel Anay with your Real Talk 93.3 Local News Update, brought to you by Macklemore Systems, Tallahassee's go-to Mac store. Check them out online at MacklemoreSystems.com.
This is meteorologist Paul Trombley with your Real Talk 93.3 weather update. Slight chance for scattered thunderstorms this afternoon, otherwise partly cloudy skies. High temperatures reach up to 93, west winds around 5 miles per hour. Slight chance for scattered storms again tonight, lows around 72, mainly clear skies and quiet. Chance for scattered storms tomorrow, daytime highs approaching 94, mainly clear. This report is brought to you by The Lawn Johns. For all your landscaping and lawn care needs, visit thelawnjohns.com. Right now, 90.
T-Spark Enterprises, roofing and construction services. T-Spark, T-SparkConstruction.com. We We conquer all peaks. We fix those darn leaks. Call 850-766-1340. T-Spark Enterprises, roofing and construction services. T-Spark Construction.com.
License number CCC 1331204.
Well. Hey, Jeff, look at this place.
Yeah. Well, doing well. It's been a while since I've seen you, brother, but, it hasn't been a while since I've been over to Gordo's. I go there on the regular because of you, Eddie.
Well, we keep you regular.
Well, that's true, but I think of Gordo's as a place to sit down, have a cold beer, talk to your friends, enjoy the sports, eat the delicious food. But I think of you as Uncle Eddie, a man who takes care of his people and takes care of the town.
I appreciate that, Jeff. Hey, and we'll keep you regular.
Gordo's, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
Here's what you missed on the Greg Tish Show.
We need to have history. We need to have literature. It deserves an explanation. We don't need to be promoting lifestyles that come into play for your average elementary school.
Well, I had an experience with this. When my daughter was in school, her teacher gave her a book to read, but then she asked me what the C word is.
That was in the book.
That was in the book.
Okay, so talking about the C word. So you're talking about conservatives, right?
The Greg Tish Show, Monday through Friday, 6 to 9 a.m., only on Real Talk 93.3. The Jeff Cameron Show is sponsored by the legendary team at Hamilton Home Loans. Great rates, cutting-edge technology, and transparent communication is the recipe for a 5-star mortgage experience at FSUHomeLoans.com.
Okay.
You have my attention.
The kid from South Carolina. I think it's Termatine. You see, you guys got to forgive me on this one because Tumatine, I guess is his name. I when you look him up, you're not impressed. You he started some games for South Carolina. So initially you say, oh, well, there's an SEC offensive lineman that started 4 or 5 games. Probably better than anybody we have. I'm not so sure. But it's in the wind that we're looking at him and possibly another offensive lineman. Hey, the overriding philosophy behind that is fine, but you do, in the midst of all that, begin to wonder, okay, well, how many spots do they have? And I don't want to do what we've done with a couple of players in the past. Again, we've done a real good job of not taking people just to take people. We've done a real good job of not just filling holes that we have with somebody because they're available, but rather somebody that we think can fit and somebody that we think long-term is of great benefit to us. That both fills a hole on the roster, maybe in the immediate sense, but also is somebody that is better than a player that is slated to start there. And I don't know with this guy if that's true.
Yeah, in week 1 against Eastern Illinois,
he sucked.
His pass blocking grade was a 0.
I looked it up.
Okay.
He wasn't any good. That's why I got excited and then instantly stopped getting excited.
But against Kentucky, Troy, and Tennessee, he was in the green. Our famous color-coded Pro Football Focus. A lot of yellows and reds, though, like blood reds, which is like a 0.
We've had guys with 0s. We know what a 0 looks like physically. We know what it looks like to watch a guy in a game perform to the level of a 0.
And then have a 5-man protection called in that situation over and over and over.
A 0. You would think it to be impossible. You could accidentally booby block somebody. And get better than a 0.
I believe that's the form as well that you need to use.
If you're capable of a 0, that's kind of how you're blocking. But a 0. That's the kind of thing, if we weren't on radio, that I would follow up with a blankety blank 0. Are you blanking kidding me? A 0.
Dadgummit.
I mean, it's like, well, It's as if that man went against air. Air gets a 0. You couldn't get a 1? A 0?
Right. You occupy physical space between where he wants to go and where he is. So
almost by definition, it's like signing your name on the SAT. Once again, we circle back. Mm-hmm. How did you get a 0? Did you not sign your name on the test, son?
No.
A 0.
I forgot.
I did.
I wrote it in, but I didn't think I had to bubble it because, I wrote it in.
Man. So he would seem, maybe, not to fall in the same category as, say, Bless Harris.
What do you know about Bless Harris?
Thank you. He would seem to not fall in the same category as Dimitri Emmanuel, whom we think has real upside. Don't know how much, but he seems like he's got some upside, and at least Coach Atkins knows who he is and has coached him before. And I'm going to go ahead and say that if he signed off on him, I'm with you, brother. Okay. You've earned that benefit of doubt.
It's just the damnedest thing. Again, these grades aren't gospel, but I'm not going to watch every one of these kids' reps. He has 4 grades at 74 or above, and he's got 3 grades at 12 or below, all in the pass block category. How? That's unbelievable.
It reminds me, the way you said how, it's kind of the way that I said how when on the back 9 last week, Harold Varner went triple, double, triple. And I texted you and Matthew. And Matthew said, oh, he's full on trying to break 50 now.
Is that what you said?
Yeah,
oh, my God. Well, it's true.
It bothers me. I'm a huge fan. I'm a huge fan. Like, I really like him, and I know somebody who knows him. They say he's just an awesome, awesome guy.
It seems that way.
Yeah, no, he's an awesome guy. Like, universally beloved. So there, I texted you to let you know there was a 5-way tie.
Right. Yep.
And my man promptly went triple, double, triple.
And the only time you saw him was in the foreground of somebody else's golf shot. You're like, oh, there's Harold. It looks like it's not getting better.
He was doing fine, and then it just fell off a cliff. That was close.
A dadgum cliff.
And I was just thinking, I mean, Harold.
He was 10 under at one point on the back
tied
9.
For the lead.
He finished at even. I mean,
I know what that's like, Harold.
Me too.
I play once a week. This is not what we do. You cannot do that, Harold. I can do that. You cannot do that.
But he has done that.
Oh, a lot. He's done it a lot. I'm at a place now where I'm just going to throw my hands to the sky and say, Harold Varner ain't going to win. Ain't going to win. It's the worst, though. I didn't want to apply that to him. But it's easy to apply it to Lee Westwood because screw Lee Westwood. But Harold Varner's my man. Come on.
He is?
Love Harold. I just want him to win. Okay. I like him. He's he's affable. He's fun. I like his swing. I like everything about him. He's a fun guy to watch play. He's adventuresome.
So then you need to celebrate if he has a 54-hole lead. Because that's his title.
No,
that's his title.
Well, he's had a lot of it. He's had a ton of 54-hole leads.
Right.
That's
so
his
he's
thing.
a 3-time champion.
No, he needs to get a win. Anyhow, the way you said how is the way I said how after I watched him throw up the first 7 on the par 4 and then follow it up with a double.
It is kind of the same thing. You're at 10 under tied for the lead, and then you finish, like 50th? I don't even know where you finished.
Well outside.
Right. But if you're capable of playing nearly because an 85 pass block grade is exceptional. So if you're capable of that against Power 5 competition, it's SEC competition, an SEC defensive line.
Mm-hmm.
How are you also capable of a 0 against an FCS opponent?
Yeah, what I would wonder about there is there an effort issue here? Do we have emotional issues?
I see 6'7", 340, so maybe that's a little bit inconsistency with the gut. I don't know.
He's just fat?
I'm just guessing. I don't know.
Well, yeah, he's got to be fat. But, I mean, I don't know. If you get an 85 and a 0 in the same season, either you played injured, or you've got an effort issue, man. You've got an effort issue.
Yeah, he had 18 chances to pass block against Eastern Illinois, got a 0. That was game 1 of the season. Then game 12.
How many chances?
18 chances.
I think they pulled him.
Yes, 47 snaps.
Yeah, they pulled his ass.
That's about consistent for where he fits for the season. So I guess they don't run a ton of tempo, South Carolina. Why would you? But then the final game of his season was against Mizzou, and he had a 2.9. 2.9 against Mizzou, pass blocking. In between those 2 games, he had 3 474 or better performances.
It is actually inexplicable. It is one of those things. Now, I suppose if we do get the services of Turnitin, then I'm going to have to call the people at South Carolina, who I have a connection to from interviews I did this year with the College Sportsbook, and find out what the hell.
His second best overall grade against the SEC was against Florida. Florida's D-line is not bad, as we saw.
No, how did he play there?
Played well. 74.5 pass block grade. The next week was Mizzou, 2.9. You tell me. That's nuts.
That's got to be between the ears, man.
Yep.
It's either between the ears or he's got some physical maladies that we don't know about. Like, you can play really well a game, and then the fat takes hold, and he just can't overcome it. Seriously.
It's something. It's not about talent, clearly.
Thank you, Marcus. We really appreciate you listening and contributing. Gentlemen, just wishing you and your Bolts well in the Eastern Conference Final. Tom has a house divided, correct? Good luck with that. What do you know about Bless Harris? Well done, Marcus. Yeah, it is a house divided there, but it's a friendly house divided. It's a lovely thing there. Yeah.
Tasteful.
Hour number 2, fourth company. Stay with.
You were always more than my mom. You were my role model, my best friend, and biggest supporter. You filled my days with unconditional love. And you also prepared for the day when you couldn't be here. Because of the woman you were back then, I'm able to be the woman I am now. Your planning made this moment possible.
Set your family up for life. Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance. Your friends for life.
This is Andy Cohen. When I was a law enforcement officer, I devoted my life to a career of service and protection. Who's protecting you? Give me a call. 850-671-FARM. That's 671-FARM. Helping you is what we do best.
Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance Company, Jackson, Mississippi. Not licensed to do business in all 50 states.
Physical stress on our bodies can take its toll as the years go by. Whether you're looking to get back into an old sport or just want to spend more time outdoors to explore all life has to offer in our beautiful city, the dedicated team at TOC is here for you every step of the way. You can trust TOC for all your orthopedic needs. And now, scheduling an appointment has never been easier. Just visit teamtoc.com and click schedule online. That's teamtoc.com.
If you're an attorney who struggles with the balance of managing your practice and practicing law, consider Lexicon as your #1 pick. From client intake to billing and all that comes in between, Lexicon doesn't miss a thing. Our comprehensive solution combines best-in-class software and services to take care of your firm's most critical challenges, automating many of the tasks that take time out of your day. It's all about giving you more of your billable hours back. And who doesn't love more revenue? No more searching for practice management that works. Lexicon marks the spot. Visit lexiconservices.com to learn what Lexicon can do for you.
Have you wanted to speak a new language but thought it'd be too difficult or take too much time? Then try Babbel. In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel teaches you conversations that you will actually use. With 14 languages and lesson topics like travel, business, relationships, and more, you'll learn what matters most to you. Babbel. Language for life. Learn a new language with ease. Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's BABBEL.com.
There's fun to be had every night at the Corner Pocket. Take home prizes on Trivia Tuesdays and Beer Bingo Thursdays. And kickstart your weekend with Martini Fridays. Plus, happy hour runs every weekday and game day specials every time the Noles take the field. Watch all the best games at the Corner Pocket's Vegas Wall, featuring 560 inches of flat screen TV heaven.
Oh, really?
The best food, the best drinks, and the best place to watch all the games. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
Coming up next, more of the Jeff Cameron Show. Live and local on Real Talk 93.3. WVFT, Greta, Tallahassee.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm John Scott. Police in Tulsa, Oklahoma say a doctor who performed surgery on a gunman was among those killed. The shooting at a medical building.
Tulsa Police Chief Wendell Franklin says the gunman had back surgery late last month.
but was still complaining of pain. Franklin says the gunman bought a semi-automatic handgun late last month and on the day of the shooting.
At 2 p.m. on June the 1st, Mr. Lewis purchased a semi-automatic rifle from a local gun store.
Franklin says a letter was found on the gunman,
which made it clear that he came in with the intent to kill Dr. Phillips and anyone who got in his way.
Dr. Preston Phillips was one of the 4 people killed.
He blamed Dr. Phillips for the ongoing pain following the surgery.
Another doctor, a receptionist, and a patient were also killed. The gunman died from an apparent self-inflicted gunshot wound. I'm Ed Donahue.
Also at townhall.com, the white man charged with carrying out a racist attack that killed 10 black people at a Buffalo supermarket faces arraignment. 18-year-old Peyton Gendron is due in Erie County Court this afternoon, a day after a grand jury returned a 25-count indictment. The charges include hate-motivated domestic terrorism, murder, and attempted murder as a hate crime, and criminal possession of a weapon. The number of Americans collecting unemployment benefits continues to fall.
The Labor Department reports first-time claims for jobless benefits fell by 11,000 last week to an even 200,000. And the total number of Americans collecting aid is down to 1,309,000, the fewest since December 27th, 1969.
Correspondent Ben Thomas. On Wall Street, the Dow up 220 points, the NASDAQ ahead 270. More at townhall.com.
Stock market have you nervous? With geopolitical conflict and inflation concerns, it's virtually impossible to guess what will happen next. But with Vantage Point, you don't have to. Learn to trade with artificial intelligence. Text the word money to 813813 and discover how to predict stock market trends up to 3 days ahead with incredible accuracy. Whether you trade stocks, options, forex, futures, or crypto, Vantage Point's patented artificial intelligence can give you a massive edge. Text the word money to 813813 to get what you need to stay ahead of the markets and find big moves before they happen. Don't wait. Text the word money to 813-813.
Trading involves financial risk and is not suitable for all investors. Past results do not guarantee future performance. By texting, you agree to the terms available at VantagePointSoftware.com/terms and consent to receive calls and text using automated technology that offers or info by or on behalf of VantagePoint. Your consent is not a condition to purchase and can be revoked at any time. Message and data rates may apply.
Text the word money to 813-813.
Did you know metal roofs' survivability far exceeds that of traditional shingle roofs? It's time to consider a metal roof from Metal Roofing Sales of Tallahassee. We provide the best quality, least expensive material and accessories in the area, as well as material pickup and delivery. Our painted panels qualify for the City of Tallahassee's low-interest Energy Star loan program also. And don't forget about our veteran law enforcement discount. Give Metal Roofing Sales a call today at 536-9123, 536-9123.
We all want more energy, more strength, more results. Well, welcome to Orange Theory Fitness as you take a step towards feeling more alive today. Backed by science, Orange Theory's heart rate monitored workout is scientifically designed to keep heart rates in a target zone, spiking metabolism and increasing energy. Orange Theory Fitness is a one-of-a-kind group personal training workout resulting in more energy, visible toning, and extra calorie burn for up to 36 hours. Experience a more vibrant life today with Orange Theory Fitness. To find out more, go to orangetheoryfitness.com.
Broadcasting live from Florida's capital city, this is the Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness on Real Talk 93.3. Now, stop what you're doing and listen closely. It's time for the Jeff Cameron Show in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
seasons do you think he played? Now, this is how we're getting old right here. How many seasons do you think Ryan Fitzpatrick played?
13
Young
or 14.
man out of Harvard.
13 or 14.
17 seasons.
Holy cow.
What in the hell is going on here? There's no way. 17 seasons. In 17 seasons, he started 147 games, threw for nearly 35,000 yards, 223 touchdowns, and 169 interceptions. That is nuts. 7th-round pick by the Rams in 2005. Played with the Bengals, Bills, Rams, Titans, Texans, Jets, Bucks, Dolphins, Washington. Peace. That's how you do it, baby.
He's not done yet either. Somebody's going to need an emergency quarterback in November, and they won't like what they have, and they'll call on Fitzmagic to be the 2 or 3 week guy. It's going to happen.
I was struck by a couple of things in the NFL yesterday. That was one of them when that came out. I couldn't believe that was 17 seasons. It wasn't like I was sitting around sad about Fitzmagic, but I thought, wow, how did 17 years go by?
It doesn't hold 1-to-1 as an analogy, but he's kind of like the middle reliever of the NFL because he's played everywhere.
He would, and I would think, we all know it's repeated ad nauseum, given that he's a Harvard guy and really smart. I would think, first of all, he's got personality for days. He's funny. He's smart. We know that. And he played all over the place. So he's been in a million locker rooms. He's played with countless superstars. He's had some good seasons where he has some gravitas behind his words. Walk into the broadcast booth tomorrow, sir.
Right.
What a gig.
You've got an image too. Yeah.
He's got an image. He would provide great insight. I think just because of who he was and how he went about his business, he seems to relate to the common man, even if he is erudite in that sense. But
yeah, that's overplayed though. Real quick, a couple of friends that I had in different schools in Tampa got into Ivy League football schools, and they're relatively smart, but they're not Harvard smart. And then they just happen to play football. They lower the standards to see if they can win an Ivy League title.
Right, and this isn't an indicator of across the board intelligence, but didn't he have a perfect score? I think when they did his
the Wonder League.
The Wonder League.
Yeah.
He's not dumb. Is my point.
No, and he might be I'm just saying in general that's always attached to a guy who played it. He played at Yale. I'm like, they gave him an 1150 on the SAT.
They only lower the standards so much, though. It's not like saying, well, but he played at Arkansas well.
That's true. I'm not saying that either.
My boy got a raise. We talked it into the bean yesterday. Big Suey is right. He's dropping those size 48 pair of pants to his knees today, huh? Big time raise. All right. You think 48 is a safe estimate? Do you think that waistline is 48 or more? Do you think it's 52?
I think that's the square footage of a lot of greens up north.
What do you think that is?
46, 48.
Whoa, that's good. 48's pretty good. Just throwing it out there.
I think so.
Yeah. But I said two things struck me about the NFL yesterday. And for starters, I was thinking, how in the world did Fitzpatrick play for 17 seasons? It went by so fast. And then secondly, you saw where Marion Barber III died.
Yeah.
I loved watching him run. That dude ran like a man. There is something about a running back that, I'm drawn not to the elusiveness of a running back, but the power and the anger in which one runs. Now, there are exceptions. If you are preternaturally gifted the way that Barry Sanders was, by all means, wiggle. Do what you got to do to make it look like a video game. But most people don't have that skill set. And I think there's a fearlessness and a toughness that is so enjoyable to watch. And I thought of that when I saw that his name, sadly, was in a headline announcing his death at the age of 38. And it doesn't sound like, now, again, this is an ongoing, I don't want to apply this to all former NFL players, but it doesn't take much to read the article and what his life has been like post-football to assume that we're going to find out evidence of CTE. This is a guy that ran the way that he ran. He bludgeoned people and in turn was often met in the hole with that style. This is not a guy trying to run around you. And then went from being a guy that was seemingly beloved. Again, everything I read, I have not met the man. I don't know personally, but you have friends and loved ones saying that he was a certain way as a player. And then afterwards met post-football life with a lot of problems. And that hard charging style that led him to be nicknamed Marion the Barbarian and things like that. I don't know that bodes well. It certainly seems to me that it's a safe assumption, an assumption nonetheless, that we're going to find out well, when you read that and then you read extreme personality shift.
Right.
Always breaks my heart, man. Breaks my heart. And what do you do? What are you going to do? I mean, listen, at least in modern football, at least in the game of today, not only are there precautionary steps that are taken from a rules standpoint, but also now it's all on the table. Back then, the league tried to hide it and lied about it and everything else. Now, anybody who plays football, you know the deal.
Did you see the ABC News tweet and news story about him?
I did not.
The editorial process has long been broken. We know this much.
Correct.
But this is the tweet, and it's the lead graph in the story reporting his death. ABC News. Not a local channel, ABC News.
It's going to make me sad.
Just in, Marion Barber III, the former Dallas Cowboys running back who scored plenty of touchdowns without recording a 1,000-yard season, has died, the team said Wednesday. He was 38. So that's your lead, is that he never had a 1,000-yard rushing season?
Take a shot in there. Get a shot in there while you can.
Did a Giant fan write this? What's going on here?
Yeah, people are going to be missing Marion Barber, but I'll tell you what, Joker never ran for 1,000 yards. Put that in your headline. Good call, Ted.
ABC News. He scored plenty of touchdowns, but he never had a 1,000-yard season. He's dead, by the way.
What a weird that's just a weird headline. That's not even like biased. It's just weird. Hey, look, this sorry son of a bitch died today. That's all they I mean, what are they doing?
Mike Alstad, who vultured so many touchdowns from Warchant and others,
yeah.
without really ever being a running back, even though he was voted to the Pro Bowl for years as a fullback, has died.
So,
he was 44.
Perennially overrated Christian McCaffrey has passed.
Wait a minute. Have we come up full circle on the Christian McCaffrey debate?
No. Listen, you know and I know that I was right about Christian McCaffrey, and that's how it's gone. It's just, obviously, now he's been hurt lately. But that said, I'm just having fun with headlines here.
Okay, all right.
You have to admit, if you used perennially overrated as your lead before a name, would be fantastic.
That would be biased, I believe.
Of course. Anyhow, yeah. Well, and then if you read further that he had some issues there, he was taken in for a psych test a few years back. So I think sadly we're going to hear that this is going to fall in the long line of many regarding his mental health and the effects of football. Don't know. Could be wrong about that. Maybe unrelated. Doesn't seem like it. That sucks. So yeah, but by the way, he was 38. 38. It seems like he just was playing. We watched Marion Barber play last week. We just got done watching him play.
I feel like he played a long time ago. And what's 7 years ago.
Contemporary of yours.
That's what scares me. Is it feels like he's been out of the league forever, and he is a contemporary of mine. That is an extra level of unsettling.
Yeah, in fairness to you, he has been out of the league for some time.
Right. Like 6 years?
More. I think more. I think somewhere in the neighborhood of 7 or 8.
Okay, yeah.
10. Just looked it up.
10
years.
It's been a long... I mean, that's when we drafted Doug Martin was 10 years ago.
You thought it felt like 6 years. That's what I'm saying. It felt like it was recent, not 10 years.
Well, I said forever ago. For me, at 35, forever ago is, it's a little different.
Well, it still doesn't make me feel as bad as when grandchildren of men whose careers I saw play from start to finish enter the league, which now is happening to you. It has just started because it's when it started for me.
Grandchildren?
Yes. When you begin to see Ken Griffey Jr.'s kid kicking ass in minor league baseball and you read it, that is the grandchild of Ken Griffey.
Yeah, that's fair, but I didn't know who Ken Griffey was.
You remember Ken Griffey Jr.?
I knew he was Ken Griffey Jr.'s dad.
You knew they played alongside each other in the same game and hit a home run.
That was before my time. That was before my sentience.
Okay. I'll get you one during the break because there are. I'm telling you, they're out there.
I never knew that Seattle was blue and yellow at one point. I only knew them in that teal and navy color. Mm-hmm. I was like, wait, what? Why are they wearing the Brewers colors?
That's they need to break out the yellow again.
They do. Those are better.
Their uniforms are good. Period. Though they got a quality uniform. That stadium's great. I love that stadium.
Safeco still relevant.
Love that stadium and had a good time there, even though they almost kicked me out. That's how long ago I was at Safeco.
When Marion Barber was kicking ass?
Yeah, probably earlier. Yeah, earlier than that. I was at Safeco. I was there early on in the process. As I've told the story before, that's back in my days. I was a sinner. Couldn't stop dipping. And they almost kicked me out for dipping at a baseball game. And I was being polite about it. Wasn't like spitting in the aisle with people having to deal with it. I was discreet, Tom. I was spitting in my water cup.
Steal the devil's juice.
They're like, you, sir.
Don't you dip it.
You, sir. That is foreboding. I was like, what in the world? The woman was serious, very serious.
Which doesn't make sense.
No, it still strikes me as
Seattle.
It still struck me as awesome. My buddy Matt, who was sitting next to me, was like, this is happening. They're about to kick my friend out of the game.
Was that the same place that you had to pound the beer?
Yeah. They're serious in Seattle.
Man.
That was funny because the fake cop who was trying to get mad at me, the security personnel, was like, sir, you can't. And I was like, well, I'm not dumping it. They're like, yeah, you got to dump it. I'm like, oh, no, I'm not dumping it. And then I drank it, and they just looked at me.
Oh, I'm dumping it.
I'm dumping it down the gullet. That's what I'm doing. I'm not dumping a full beer. Get you some of that. What, you arrest me for drinking this beer? Bought it legally. Get the hell out of my face. But that was kind of the strange thing that went down there. They were serious because I was standing in the line with a beer that you could buy right outside. What are we doing?
Living in Utah, not in Washington State. That's what we're doing.
Rest in peace, Mary Barber. The more exciting news was to report that, and it's not exciting, it's just interesting that Fitzmagic is no more, man. We won't have him to kick around every year. You know what I'm happy about? We won't have to watch the shows desperate for content in which they debate how viable a starter he really is, right? Because he always did this. This is the pattern. He would start, he'd play well, he'd go on a 4 or 5 game win streak, he'd have the game that reminded you why he hasn't been a starter for very long anywhere he's ever been. Then you'd go, oh, that's right, he kind of sucks. And then everybody go, well, and then you'd have this debate about where he belongs. It drove me nuts.
Here you go. The 8-4 Buffalo Bills, led by Josh Allen, will see a really scary play in their 13th game. Josh Allen goes down, and they return.
Why are you doing that to Bills fans who are already pained by an indelible memory they will never forget until they win a Super Bowl? And I'm not talking about the missed kick. I'm not talking about any of that. I'm talking about last year's game against Kansas City, which by rights was won by Buffalo.
The grand homecoming of Ryan Fitzpatrick for the last 4 games of the season. Can he push them to a division title? They've got a 2-game lead. Can he hold down the fort?
Buffalo's going to the Super Bowl this year out of the AFC. There it is. They're going.
Unless they don't.
They better win it. If they get there, they better. You're almost better off not going. Don't go and then lose it again. Ooh, it gives you the willies thinking about it for them, of course. We wouldn't know what that's like. We go.
If we go, we
it's
win.
A wrap.
Yeah.
No, we don't just win.
Now what?
We beat that ass.
My goodness. Buccaneers, Bills. There it is.
Well, it looks like a loss for Buffalo. My God.
Tom Brady has more wins against the Bills than
than any Bills starting quarterback.
That's
right? Yeah. Jeff Cameron, Show 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
This is Kyle, Service Manager from Barano Heating and Air. Schedule an appointment from your mobile device to learn about our Total Comfort Service Program. With guaranteed same-day service, 15% off necessary repairs, and $25 berry bucks to use towards air filters and other products. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Barano Heating and Air. Any day, anytime, anywhere. Online at baranoac.com.
Florida license CAC 1816-186. Highway 27 Grill and Barbecue just north of Havana is your final destination for hamburger excellence. But what if you don't know which burger to try? Captain Kenny has turned off the no smoking sign and has a 3-burger flight to help you make your decision. Put down that tray table and let your taste buds fly. Highway 27 Grill and Barbecue, 1 mile north of the last light in Havana. Highway 27 Grill and Barbecue. Get your fill at the grill.
Refreshing and simple. 2 words you don't hear many people use to describe their experience going through the process of getting a home loan. That's what puts the Hamilton Home Loans experience in a category all their own. If you're buying or refinancing a home, Hamilton Home Loans will provide a personalized mortgage experience that is dedicated to making the process refreshingly simple. It all begins with an initial consultation with an experienced Hamilton Home Loans advisor to find out what your goals are in order to find the right mortgage to suit your specific needs. Then, your personal home loan advisor will take you through all the steps from application, underwriting, approval, and closing, all the way to the front steps of your new home. Once you've experienced the Hamilton Home Loan process, you can be a customer for life and never have to pay lender fees again. For first responders, nurses, physician assistants, teachers, active and retired military, ask about the Hamilton for Heroes program. Personalized attention with your needs put first. Now that's refreshingly simple. Find out more at HamiltonHomeLoans.com. That's HamiltonHomeLoans.com.
Equal housing lender. NMLS number 200719.
Hi, my name is Shannon Pash, and I'm the principal at Red Hills Academy. We will provide a challenging, rigorous curriculum. We will also work with our students to teach them how to set goals and then how to work to reach those goals. Red Hills Academy will offer the Spanish language every day. Relationships are really important to us, not just with our students, but with our families and the community. This benefits parents and students alike because parents get that involvement within the school. Easily apply online today at redhillsacademy.com.
Whitten Glass has been taking care of families since 1945.
Experienced, reliable professionals who offer only the best, like Whitten's top-of-the-line bath enclosures. Eye-catching storefronts are a specialty at Whitten Glass, and they provide precise installation.
Whitten Glass, Tallahassee's first family in glass. Online at whittenglass.com. Call 850-222-5781.
This is Patty Wilson.
Oh, I'm sorry. We're ready.
He's recording.
Why are you always saying your last name? It's Patty and Scott. Everybody knows who Patty and Scott.
I don't know. This is Patty Wilson. This is. I am Patty Wilson.
What is the idea behind said promo?
It's for Patty's Playhouse. We're on Patty's Playhouse Saturdays at 11. Tune in. That's stupid. Just tune in. Saturdays at 11. Patty Wilson, Patty's Playhouse. House talk with a happy ending.
Each and every time.
We all want more energy, more strength, more results. Well, welcome to Orange Theory Fitness as you take a step towards feeling more alive today. Backed by science, Orange Theory's heart rate monitored workout is scientifically designed to keep heart rates in a target zone, spiking metabolism and increasing energy. Orange Theory Fitness is a one-of-a-kind group personal training workout resulting in more energy, visible toning, and extra calorie burn for up to 36 hours. Experience a more vibrant life today with Orange Theory Fitness. To find out more, go to orangetheoryfitness.com.
Jeff Cameron Show is sponsored by the legendary team at Hamilton Home Loans. Great rates, cutting-edge technology, and transparent communication is the recipe for a 5-star mortgage experience at FSUHomeLoans.com.
And it seems so fitting. Stuart Mandel tweeted, last week, Miami mega booster John Ruiz company, MSP Recovery, went public. Its share price has dropped 86%. Now a law firm is investigating whether MSP and certain of its officers and or directors have violated federal securities laws. There is a link. You can have fun reading that. It is benzinga.com. Bronstein, Gewurz, and Grossman, LLC, reminds shareholders of MSB Recovery's investigation. So that's fun. You can get more information.
We now have footage of my personal reaction and yours too, to reading that news, listening to you relay that news.
Let's see the footage.
It's on, yeah. Could this be time is a flat circle in a good way?
Oh, how perfect.
Miami, federal investigations, money, yada, yada.
My God. It's just so perfect. It's just so deja vu. It is so, I saw that tweet and obviously had to read more about it. But I began this by saying, this is a fun tweet to read.
Well, and even before federal charges are in there, they lost 86% of their value?
Yes.
Oh, man.
Share prices dropped by 86%.
My goodness.
You hate to see it. You really do. You hate to see it. I'm going to read it again because there may be some new listeners just jumping on. They might have missed it. Last week, Miami mega booster John Ruiz's company, MSP Recovery, went public. Its share price has already dropped by 86%. Now a law firm is investigating whether MSP and certain of its officers and or directors have violated federal security laws. This is a hunch that they have. Just given who he is.
Blue Horseshoe loves MSP Holdings.
Oh, man. That is good. That is rich. And that is fun. That is what we hope.
This just Dan Van Dyke is in the transfer portal. That's next. Come on.
You know, it's to a place where there was a time in which if you told me a Miami player, any Miami player, great or not, was in the transfer portal and wanted to, say, attend Florida State, I'd go, no, screw him, never. But we don't live in that world anymore, do we?
No, we don't.
Now we live in the world in which you go, come on down, big man. In this case, up. Come on up.
More ways than one. Our checks don't bounce here in Tallahassee.
It's on the up and up. Van Dyke, come on up. Yeah, I know. It's but I do miss the old world where there's no way in hell you'd let that happen. When good old-fashioned hate ruled the day. Now it's all complicated.
Sounds like an ice cream commercial.
A certain one we both love that is no more.
Oh, no. I heard it.
Well, not on these airwaves.
Oh, yeah, right.
And,
right.
yeah.
Surprising, but yes.
But, no, that is all-time great. No, but we take on guys now that you look at our baseball team. There you go.
That's my favorite play of the year. Carry-on's play against Florida on a Tuesday night.
Yeah.
His former team. That's the stuff that you remember. It's awesome defensive plays like that. We were talking about that last week. You value a web gem over a 450-foot home run. I do too.
The player that has the least impactful moment or season amongst the transfer portal players, since we're talking about guys that come over from other universities. We've got guys from UCF, Wisconsin, Oregon, Arizona State, Louisville, Illinois, UCF, Albany, West Virginia, Oregon, and Charlotte. Perhaps South Carolina soon enough. The guy that has the least impact on this team.
Deuce Spann.
That's a correct answer. You're 1 for 1. Second least impactful player on this team.
Greedy Vance.
Agreed. That, too, is a correct answer. 2 for 2. Now, where do we go for number 3?
Least impactful.
Least impactful.
I know where you're going.
First 2 right. You went 2 for 2. No, I'm not going where you think I'm going. Well, you went 2 for 2. Got it right. The answer is Deuce Spann and Greedy Vance. Now, Deuce, there's hope for. Deuce is raw.
Yeah.
Can run like the wind blows. Has the right body type. Got to learn to run some routes.
If Greedy Vance comes in a pinch in a non-ACC officiated game, that is to say they allow contact at the line of scrimmage.
You mean they allow him to grab, pull, tug, twist, turn? Yes, sure.
If they officiate like SEC officials, then he is a replacement level player and you can get by. If not, you're in trouble.
I do rather admire the stick-to-itiveness, tenacity, and ferocity with which Greedy Vance decides to defend, all of which is outside the bounds of the rules of the game, in which he grabs the receiver, holds the receiver, pulls the receiver, turns the receiver, and never lets go. In spring, I never saw a play in which Greedy guarded anybody legally. Did you? I didn't see one. Not one.
Not one that was close.
No.
Yeah.
Not one. So you think I was going to say Wilson.
Yeah.
And I understand why. Wildly inconsistent, stone hands. It could be tough for him to contribute as much as we are certainly hoping for. But I am worried instead a little bit about Caden Lyles. And I would, by default, have to say for now Winston Wright, because I just don't know if he's going to play. So that's a health issue.
But he could play 6 games and have a bigger impact in those 6 games.
Well, he was a plug-and-play guy. It depends on how much of his ability he's able to get back. I don't want a Winston Wright who's going to come out here at 60% because I don't think that does you a lot of good. I understand his eagerness to want this to be the money year to move on, to get to the league, and it makes total sense. But I hope he makes a good decision for himself, but one that also obviously benefits Florida State. If you're not all the way back, if you're not showcasing your true abilities, and you have the ability post-injury to get to full strength, it's just taking longer than you had hoped, meaning it's going to be late this season, I mean, playing 4 games might be worth it. He'd have to get advice from NFL people. But if it's not, come on back, get you 100% season in there and go showcase your wares.
Yeah, I think, again, there's nothing to lose because he's still a redshirt junior. It's the COVID eligibility.
But he wants to go.
Of course,
Yeah.
but there's nothing to lose. Like, you can always come back even if you play 4 games.
Yeah.
And so if you have the right kind of 4 games, you've done what you needed to do,
Yeah,
go on
that's
to
a
the next
fair
level.
point. That's a fair
But you have the parachute, which is you can always play in 2023 one way or the other.
From there, I would go Johnny Wilson, although I think they're going to force it, and they kind of need to. I understand why they would. I really do. I mean, who the hell else is that much better? Every one of those guys behind him are flawed. So, yeah, he's the one with the best upside because physically he looks better and is better or more suited, I should say, than those other players. So, yeah.
Here's an interesting question. Who has a bigger impact this year for Florida State? Bigger in positive way. Is it Emmanuel or Bless Harris?
Bless Harris.
Okay. Rank Lyles, Harris, and Emmanuel. How would you rank it in terms of positive impact?
I can't say enough. I don't know enough about Dimitri Emmanuel. The other 2 we saw in spring.
But Lyles is an incomplete.
Well, he is an incomplete, but yeah. I mean, I gave him wiggle room because I said he's not only learning, well, he's recovering from an injury, but he's also learning an entirely new system and verbiage. So I'm willing to give him the spring to kind of try to figure this out while his head's swimming, and then get it together in the off season, get in the best shape of your life, have your handle on the playbook, and then come in physically ready to compete and get after it and probably start for this team. So I'm going to allow him that wiggle room. I'm not completely, set in stone with my thoughts on him. It's tough with him. So I don't know. He's physically a guy that you hope like hell he figures it out because he looks different than anybody else we have.
And he's uprooted. I mean, look, in the reps that we did see him participate in, he didn't participate in 100% out of them, not by a long shot.
No.
But he can uproot dudes like the frame would suggest. It's not one of those deals where you say, how does a dude that big that weak? That's not the case at all. That's not the case at all. It's just that they may have to scheme things differently when he's on the field because they like to pull the center at times. And I don't know that he's the guy that,
that's
you want
the
to be
problem.
pulling.
But maybe he doesn't play center. Maybe he plays guard.
Yeah. Well, whatever it is, maybe they don't draw up pulling actions for him because I don't know that he can get from A to B. Maybe the injury has been holding him back, but I think he's more of a straight ahead guy.
It seems that way. He's got to get a little bit maybe lighter on foot, and if he has it in him, and he's got to have an understanding. But yeah, it's an interesting thing. Bless Harris impressed me, really impressed me, and I think he did you too. So I think Bless has got a real upside. Nobody's got upside more than Micah Pittman. I mean, of all the transfers, that's the guy that I would put him ahead of Verse in terms of upside for this season.
Ooh, that's interesting.
Yeah, no, I think Micah Pittman's our guy. I was absolutely riveted day in, day out watching him play.
That's an interest. Wow. Because if Pittman produces at the level that we think he's going to, it'll be novel to us.
You're correct.
But if Verse produces at a level that's 70% of Jermaine Johnson, it's a success, but it won't feel like as much of a success because you're still thinking about the drop off.
Yeah, and I have, and I've said this to a lot of Florida State fans that I've talked to about this, and I always have to make sure I couch this correctly because it makes it sound like I don't think he can play. I have low expectations for Jared Verse this year, and I think Jared Verse is a talented young man. He's a smart young man. I know he's a dedicated young man, and he's got physical tools for days. So all of that portends a very good play from him moving forward. It's just how quickly he can get to that top-end elite level play that resembles anything close to Jermaine Johnson. I don't think he ever gets to Jermaine Johnson level. That may take a good year and a half. Listen, you're talking about a guy who went in the first round of the draft and who was at Georgia and is a dominant figure, physically more imposing than Verse, is just a mountainous man with a high football IQ to go along with the physicality, right? I'm not saying Verse can't be an NFL football player. I'm not saying he can't go on to have a great career here and be a very good player. I am saying that I don't think in year one, coming from Albany, with work to do from a technique standpoint and against the run, that I think you're going to see that guy be anywhere close to complete. And so I kind of just hope that he's a plus player for us this year and that you can trust him against the run.
Yeah, that second part is, I think that speaks to speed of the game and your recognition ability. Like, does he know what teams are throwing at him and the reason that they're attacking him? Like, those are important questions to be able to answer.
He's a smart kid. I hope he figures that out. I think he'll figure
Well, and he researches well. Now, I saw Ryan ask the question, can he be consistent because he was a flash player at Albany? Well, if he plays in the regular season the way he did in spring, the answer is not yet.
Right.
Because he'll have dominant stretches. I mean, dominant by any standard, but then there'll be problems for the next drive or two.
A couple of things he'll do game in and game out that I trust will happen. He's going to make a flash play out of nowhere. It won't even be technically the right play. It won't be sound. It's athleticism and strength and speed for a guy that size. He's going to whoop somebody's ass across from good old-fashioned football. He's just going to be quicker or stronger or both in a game, and he's going to have a day. And everybody's going to go, my God, look at Jerry Verse, 3 sacks today, 5 tackles against the run. Man, he's really a player. But when he plays the more mature tackles and he plays the more mature offenses who know how to set him up and run right at him and do things to tire him out and not allow sheer athleticism to take hold, then I think he's going to struggle a little bit.
That's the fun part, though, where I do think that Adam Fuller's IQ, I know it would have been a punchline last year, but it isn't anymore. You saw him get Keir Thomas and Jermaine Johnson involved in twist games. Sometimes they'd work with the tackles, but a lot of times they'd gear up both of them on the same side. They play 2 ends on the same side, rush ends, and then they play games with them. That might be a place where you force him through scheme to stay at home or take an inside angle, and then you swing somebody around. It's just a way to keep him engaged without losing the athleticism that you're speaking of. It should be interesting to see how they line up in certain situations, because I'll bet it's not going to be your standard McClendon on one side and Verse on the other in 3rd and long every time. They're probably going to mix it up.
We should talk to Adam Fuller in June. He's just a really engaging, intelligent guy. He's a no-nonsense guy, but he also gets it. He's funny. I think we have the kind of rapport where he, at the very least, trusts that he could come on here and we have honest and fun dialogue. I think it would be a good idea.
He's not going to take to a question about baldness in the beginning, though.
Well, what made me laugh about that is I'm bald. Come on, baby. Making fun of myself the moment I make fun of you. No, it was sort of but he got it. But it's just like, I think he had to be reminded that I'm really good at this. I think that's really what it turned out. Because afterwards he told me, he was like, that was really delightful. I'm like, yeah, man, I know what I'm doing. You forgot we had this conversation once before. I can do this thing.
I think that's what he's saying in the coaching meetings too at times.
Yeah, you guys thought.
Now, we hope that we agree with him on the outside, but hey, I've done this.
You know who else has done it for a long time and done it successfully? My friends, the legendary team at Hamilton Home Loans. That's right, Chad and Shannon, 844-FSU-LOAN. You need to give Shannon a call today. The mortgage process, while sometimes intimidating, doesn't have to be. Shannon will take every opportunity to make it as easy as possible for you. Great rates, cutting-edge technology, transparent communication. You know that's the recipe for what? 5-star mortgage process. Also, it's a weird time. If you're buying or selling a home right now, it can be kind of difficult to know what to do. Their knowledge, their expertise, their experience, and their having worked with dear friends and family of mine allows me to endorse them and tell you to give them a call today, 844-FSU-LOAN, or check them out at fsuhomeloans.com.
Your local news now.
The Tallahassee police responded to a shooting Wednesday evening in the 2600 block of Mission Road. According to TPD, the shooting happened around 6 p.m. A man was injured as a result of the shooting with non-life-threatening injuries. TPD says no arrests have been made and police do not have a suspect. This is an active investigation. Record fuel prices could make many Floridians less willing to evacuate if they are threatened by hurricanes, the AAA Auto Club said, with the average price of a gallon of regular unleaded gas in Florida at a near record $4.57 on Tuesday. AAA released survey results that said 42% of Floridians might be hesitant about getting out of harm's way because of fuel prices. The survey found 25% of Floridians would ignore evacuation warnings. Other reasons people could decide to stay home include such things as they don't have safe options for their pets and they don't know where to go and aren't able to afford hotels. This is Rachel Lene with your Real Talk 93.3 local news update, brought to you by Macklemore Systems, Tallahassee's go-to Mac store. Check them out online at MacklemoreSystems.com.
This is meteorologist Paul Trombley with your Real Talk 93.3 weather update. Slight chance for scattered thunderstorms this afternoon, otherwise partly cloudy skies. High temperatures reach up to 93, west winds around 5 miles per hour. Slight chance for scattered storms again tonight, lows around 72, mainly clear skies and quiet. Chance for scattered storms tomorrow, daytime highs approaching 94, mainly clear. This report is brought to you by the Lawn Johns. For all your landscaping and lawn care needs, visit thelawnjohns.com. Right now, 91.
Where is the best place to find Michelin, Firestone, Dunlop, Goodyear, and Bridgestone tires? Nice Tire and Auto Service. Where's the best full-service auto center? Nice Tire and Auto Service. They do everything from computerized alignments to brakes, tune-ups, and safety inspections. Where can you get complete auto service you can trust? That's easy. Nice Tire and Auto Service. 4792 Bluntstown Highway, just west of Capitol Circle.
Well. Hey, Jeff, look at this place.
Yeah. Well, doing well. It's been a while since I've seen you, brother, but, it hasn't been a while since I've been over to Gordo's. I go there on the regular because of you, Eddie.
Well, we keep you regular.
Well, that's true, but I think of Gordo's as a place to sit down, have a cold beer, talk to your friends, enjoy the sports, eat the delicious food. But I think of you as Uncle Eddie, a man who takes care of his people and takes care of the town.
I appreciate that, Jeff. Hey, and we'll keep you regular.
Gordo's, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
Here's what you missed on the Greg Tish Show.
Chattanooga, Tennessee. Pastor Tabner was alone with a female church employee. She in a towel, and he in his boxers. The charismatic 41-year-old Hurley explained the two of them had been making chili and gotten food on their plates. With the hot dogs that they were making, we are hoping that the pastor used the right condiments.
I think there was at least one hot dog involved.
I don't know what you're talking about. We were just making chili dogs.
The Greg Tish Show, Monday through Friday, 6 to 9 a.m., only on Real Talk 93.3. The Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness. 2 Tallahassee locations, Midtown on Thomasville Road and Northside in the Village Common Shopping Center. Online at orangetheoryfitness.com.
Egg, you see that Stanley Cup commercial where they're handing it off from player to player, and it's the times they are changing, and it's a cover?
Why would you do that?
I know, and the concept for the commercial is awesome. So it almost
it's ruined.
Well, I think it carries strong enough that that cover is somehow mitigated. But yeah.
LeBron James is a billionaire. Nobody cares. I'm just noting that if I were a billionaire, I'd be naked right now. So be happy I'm not a billionaire.
If you made $2 million, you'd be pantless. There's something about making money and nudity. Like there's a correlation there.
Well, it's a direct societal extending of the middle finger. I don't have to abide by your rules, for I have enough money to make it all go away. That's what that is. $1 billion, you really don't have to wear pants.
Yeah. You can go to a place in Jupiter for a massage, and you know what?
Unfortunately, very, very wealthy individuals do that. And it's a secret that has been exposed. They're not looking for that kind of massage. 23rd woman has now come forward for Deshaun Watson. Rumors of a 24th tomorrow. That's true. It's true. So are we going to go from 22 that they feel like they've kind of dealt with to a degree to now we're up to 24 starting tomorrow, apparently. And we're going to get to 50. We're going to get to my man does feel a bit like a serial massage therapist seeker.
Yeah, this is interesting because I wonder if there is in fact, there has to be a clause in the deal with the Browns that would void all money owed. There has to be one, right? Like if you were negotiating and you weren't a complete idiot, you would say, Deshaun, disclose to me everybody you know about. Is there anything else coming? Because if something happens that we're not aware of, we don't owe you a red cent.
Well, I'll tell you this, without sharing too much. My stepfather's an attorney, and I asked him one time, when the most difficult aspect when he first started, he was representing people, and he said, well, your clients don't always tell you the truth. And they hang you out to dry when you get to court because the defense has another side. And they're hearing from the person filing the suit. And I would tell the person across from me seeking my counsel, tell me everything, no matter how ugly it is. If I've decided to take on the case, then I'll take on the case. If you've given me all that there is to know, I can put together a defense. I can put together an opportunity for you to get out of this the best we can, right? But if you lie to me and you omit pretty pertinent details, you're screwed, and I'm going to be looking like a fool in front of the judge, and I don't like to look like a fool in front of the judge. So there's a lot here that I'm telling you, and they would still lie. They would still lie. And he'd go, I'm not here to judge you. It's not my job. My job is to look at the facts and figure out the best defense. You've got to tell me what those facts are. You cannot withhold them from me. So am I going to find out that, you hit her? Am I going to find out that at some point you did something that was caught on tape that we don't have? This is like the 70s and 80s, right? So like the access to there's no internet. There's none of that stuff. So finding some of these things could be very difficult. And you can imagine an attorney being like, hey, man, what's going to come out here? And he said, yeah, at the beginning, I had to learn that most people lie to you. Most people lie to you. And then you have to find a way to make them feel comfortable enough. So that is so pertinent to now. Like, Deshaun, I'm getting you back into the league. Like, you just signed the largest guaranteed contract an NFL quarterback has ever signed in the history of the league, which is shame on you, NFL, shame on you, Cleveland Browns. But nonetheless, it's true. The only thing that can undo all of this is if there are more, and you're not telling me about them. Like, you're screwed if there are, 10, 15 more, and you've lied to me and told me there's nothing else here, and they have evidence that I haven't been made aware of. We're screwed. You're going to negate your contract, partner. It's weird. It's weird. I don't know what's true and what's not true. I'll say that. I don't know what's true and not true. Either do you. None of us do. I mean, it's awfully odd to have 24 different women come forward, but 24.
Did anything happen at Clemson? And I'm not trying to tie anything to their successes and have anything, vacated, because Lord knows Aaron Hernandez shot somebody in the face, and Florida's still going to celebrate that national title.
Sure.
But I wonder, does it go back that far? Or did it just start when he had money and he got to Houston?
Well, yeah, that's the question you have to ask, because I'd say that, his behavior, I'm sure, was never model. If all of a sudden you make it to the NFL, you're not suddenly a different person. Like, Tom Lang doesn't suddenly have $10 million and decide to start whipping out his Johnson every time he goes to get a massage. But he did. So that can't be a new thing. That can't be. He just had the money and the means to do it. So what I'm saying is, at that point, maybe nothing happened. He didn't have power, entitlement, authority. He didn't have these sorts of things. But
so Dabo was right. It's the entitlement. We've got an entitlement problem.
When I read that yesterday and thought, there's going to be another one as of Friday. Well, they projected there's another one Friday.
Oh, why? Because of the law of the odds?
Well, yeah, at this point, right?
Since this thing started?
It's a day.
Yeah. So like the debt calculator?
Yeah. Day that ends in Y. So here we go. I don't know why, but apparently in addition to this latest, there was somebody else waiting. I'm sure it's strategic. But nonetheless.
Doesn't mean it's not true.
Oh, I'm not saying it's true or it's not true. I don't know. I just said that. I don't know. But I'm saying that I'm sure there's a reason you wouldn't today as opposed to tomorrow or the next day or whatever else. But they're seeking counsel. So I'm sure they're being told what to do and when to do it. But man,
does this contract get voided? Because I feel like the odds are increasing.
It's starting to feel that way.
Yeah.
Also, you know what it feels like? And I'll tell you what surprised me. We know a few Cleveland fans, diehard loyal fans as they are. There's one that I know, a friend of mine, Brian. Shout out to Brian. He's from there. He's a legit Cleveland fan. He was livid when they signed him. Livid. I was like, really?
Yeah.
The desperation you guys feel and you're mad? Baker Mayfield is as ass sorry as they come. And now you're going to have a real quarterback. He's like, no, man, a bridge too far.
He's correct in this circumstance, because if you took him on a 1 year, $6 million prove-it deal,
not the largest,
right.
Yeah,
all eggs, very different.
Basket.
Yeah, and let's put it in this guy's basket. Like, are you kidding? That is crazy. That would be hard to take as a Browns fan.
Yeah, but you know, and I know, and let's be really honest about this. If he's not charged criminally, if he settles, strokes a check, and goes out and wins 14 games
before the next 5 come out,
I know. I'm just saying, if by chance all of it wraps up with no criminal charges and him writing a check, we can have whatever personal opinion we're going to have of him. The point is, which I think we do, but the point would be if he goes out and wins 14 games for the Cleveland Browns, I'm not saying this year, but the year after, because he's not going to play enough games this year to do that. But like he goes out and wins and they go to the Super Bowl, the Cleveland Browns. I mean, they're kind of like the Cubs. It's, they are hungry, starving, downtrodden. Those fans that are bitching about it now are going to be wearing Deshaun Watson jerseys. It's true.
Many of them. Many of them.
Yeah. And yes, they are. And it's just and again, that's if he's not charged with it.
That's the whole thing, though, because in order to even get to a place where he plays 17 games and wins 14,
he can't.
That means by definition it is in the past.
Yeah, sure. I just mean criminal charges can be resolved as well. So I think there's a line that people usually adhere to, right? Like, oh, well, so he's actually charged now with these felonies as opposed to this is a he said, she said, even though it looks terrible thing.
Right.
Most people, when you get across that line where the actual charges are brought.
Right. That's where I would think, but I can't assume this about that organization, that there are clauses and outs. Now, I wonder that would not be tied to a trade of any kind. I can't imagine. You can't retroactively undo the trade. Like, if somebody fails a physical and there's a report of a trade and then one player fails a physical, the whole trade is done. Like, there is no gaining assets from Houston anymore. That can't be part of it. It's just that they don't have to spend money on this guy anymore.
There is no gaining assets from Houston
or recouping assets. Recouping assets. Yeah.
Memorial Jacks tournament as presented by Workday. Phil's not there. Hey. Cam Young in the lead at -5. Luke List, -5. Cam Smith, -5. I think every time I look up, Cam Smith and Will Zalatoris are in the lead or close to it. And that's true again today. Will Zalatoris, -4. So it is a high ball flight course. Makes sense that Will Zalatoris would be there. Makes sense that Cam Young's really good, by the way. Go look up the sneaky numbers he's put up this year at his age. He's really good.
It's suggesting elite level play, and I saw there was a recommendation on social media today that you can get him at either 80-1 or 65-1 to win the Masters right now. And if you just want to throw some pizza money on it, it might be a 20-1 or a 15-1 play the week of, because if he continues this way, he's going to be a betting favorite.
Might we be so lucky that this holds up? And I'll move on and we'll do probables. Cam Young, Cam Smith, Corey Connors, Will Zalatoris, Abraham Answer, Max Homa, Keegan Bradley, Adam Scott, Jordan Spieth, Daniel Berger, Ricky Fowler, Billy Horschel. This is your leaderboard. I mean, that's a good leaderboard. There's a lot to choose from there.
There's a lot of 2018 energy there too.
Yeah.
It's like worlds collide. You got about, 5 dudes that are very now, and then about 10 dudes that are very 5 years ago.
Well, let's see what happens, because right now on the front 9, both Xander Schauffele and John Rahm are 1 under, still early in their round with a lot to play. The biggest doofus in golf, Bryson DeChambeau, is actually 1 under right now on the front 9. Need that injured hand to kick in and have him shoot an 88. Some big names still to tee off, so we'll have to wait and see.
I'm just debating in my mind if I would use doofus for Bryson, or would
I would have used the other word, but I didn't.
Yeah, something that sounds like DeChambeau.
Right. Yeah. I was about to say it, but I've pushed the envelope today, so I figured
that's correct.
I figured I should probably.
You've alleged that I'm doing.
I didn't allege that.
I know.
Yeah, no. People can see through that, obviously. I said you with a lot of money.
That Christmas bonus is coming. I just know it.
Here we go, probables. Let's do this thing, baby.
It's time for, how you say, with the pitching, probables?
I'm about damn tired of looking here at this Yankees-Angels series. Every time I do, it's 4 or 5-0 Yankees in the first inning. Get it together, Angels. Shohei Ohtani started today. Doesn't matter. 4-0 Yankees in the 4th. Nestor Cortez pitching for the Yankees.
Nestor.
Pisses me off. Get it God, dog it, Angels. Twins, Tigers, Chris Archer, Alex Fado. Rays, Rangers, that is Corey Kluber and Taylor Hearn. We got the White Sox and the Blue Jays, Johnny Cueto and Alek Manoah. By the way, I'm getting a physical tomorrow, Tom. Everybody, think about your boy. I got to get a physical. It's June every year.
And if you had $1 billion, you could just show up naked to the physical. Doc, you don't have to tell me to do anything. I'm ready.
I should anyhow.
There you go, Doc.
Nationals, Reds. Joan Edone and Graham Ashcraft on Lou Gehrig Day, everybody. True. Giants, Marlins, Alex Wood, Sandy Alcantara. Angels, Yankees, we've got, what's that, the late night? What do we got here? Yeah, that is.
Yeah, because Nestor was pitching yesterday, so it must have gotten rained out.
Oh, postponed, finishing, postponed. Got it. Reed Detmers, Jamison Tyon, Mariners, Orioles, Chris Flexen, Jordan Lyles. Padres, Brewers, Sean Manaea and Adrian Howard. His name is Hauser. Cardinals, Cubs, Matthew Liberotto and Keegan Thompson. I like Matthew's name. Braves, Rockies, Ian Anderson and Austin Gomber, followed up by Mets, Dodgers. We softened them up for you, Tom. The Pittsburgh Pirates did indeed sweep the Los Angeles Dodgers with a resounding ass-kicking last night, 8-4.
Great. Awesome.
Tawan Walker could just carry on the losing streak for the Dodgers.
Angry Dodgers bunch.
Tony Gonsolin is pitching for the Dodgers. I'll tell you, on MLB The Show, I rock his ass. He never gets me out. But in real life, he's 5-0 with a 1.80. Disrespect on the show. And that is a look at those that shall reside on the bump. It's true. Gonsolin walks the world when you play him on MLB The Show, and then you just sit dead red. You get ahead 2-0, and it's boom.
For the old school gamers out there, if you've got MVP Baseball 2005, find Richard Hidalgo, sign Richard Hidalgo. He is a cheat code.
Good work out of you. Good work, Matthew. Be well, everybody. Have a great day. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Peace.